Hello and welcome everyone to the fifth general edition of Quizzing with the Comedians. We started with a general quiz tournament, and then we went to a movies edition, then another general quiz, then cricket and football edition, then another general quiz, then India quiz edition, then another general quiz, then Mela edition, and this is the fifth or ninth edition of Quizzing with the Comedians. Welcome everyone again to this wonderful feeling of quizzing together, having fun. Let's start a fresh edition of Quizzing with the Comedians with the first quarterfinal. I'm going to introduce all the participants one by one in alphabetical order, like always. The first participant has been one of the few people who've actually won an edition of Quizzing with the Comedians. It's the winner of cricket and football edition. Give it up for Anirban Dasgupta.
Hello.
Hi, Anirban. Hi. Welcome back to Quizzing with the Comedians.
Thank you. Can't wait for the quiz to start after the last quiz performance in this tournament.
Oh, yes. It's like when you get out on, like when you play a bad inning.
Yeah.
That wait for the next inning is just...
It's like if you have a bad show, you want another show immediately.
Okay. With a quizzing veteran to someone who's making his debut in Quizzing with the Comedians. A lot of people have asked me, ki, ye kyun nahi hai, ye kab aa rahe hai, etc. And I always used to tell them, hey, everything is planned. You know, I'm not here for one edition. There are going to be 100 editions of Quizzing with the Comedians. So I've saved some of my favorite people. And it's time for this grand debut, much awaited debut. Give it up for Atul Khatri.
Hey, hi guys. Hi.
Hi.
I was invited by Kumar because Zakir could not make it today. So that's the thing. No. I've been telling Kumar since a very long time, boss, get me in. You know, he thinks I'm old, but he forgets I'm a part of history. You know, so I think I should be able to answer. I'm not as bright as Anirban or Vaibhav or the other contestants. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes, Atul. In fact, people blame me that I ask many history questions and many old questions. You will be at home. Don't worry. Okay. After Atul, again, we are going to someone who has been here earlier quite a few times. Fantastic writer, fantastic poet, fantastic actor. Nihal Parashar.
Hello, Kumar bhai. Kaise hain aap?
Hi, Nihal.
Hello, Anirban. Hello, Atul.
Hi. How are you?
Hi.
I'm good.
Hi, Nihal. Hi. With that,
sorry. नहीं मैं भी वही बोल रहा था. पिछला एडिशन मेरा ऐसा था कि इस एडिशन का मैं काफी वेट कर रहा था.
Yes. Okay. The last quarterfinalist on the first quarterfinal, again, someone who has been with us right from the beginning, from the first day of Quizzing with the Comedians. Give it up for Vaibhav Setia.
Hey man, hi. Just give me 1 minute till I analyze. Do I genuinely really like quizzing or not? That will decide whether I can stay. Yeah, I can stay.
Vaibhav एकदम नहा धो के आया. He is all ready for killing us.
Okay.
Terribly in all quizzes. I just don't want to come last.
Let's see. Cool. All the best, Anirban, Atul, Nihal, Vaibhav. Let's begin. The first question of the entire tournament goes to Anirban. Anirban, X was born in Kingdom of Hungary. He moved to the United States with his parents in 1913. The original rating system for this sport was developed in 1950 by Kenneth Harkness. Using the data developed through the Harkness rating system, X developed his own formula, which had a sound statistical basis and constituted an improvement on the Harkness system. In 1970, the governing body of the sport agreed to adopt the X rating system. From then on until the mid-1980s, X himself made the rating calculations. At the time, the computational task was relatively easy because fewer than 2,000 players were rated. What are we talking about? What is X and what are we talking
about? Is it ELO?
Okay, and what is ELO rating system?
Chess.
Beautiful crack, 10 out of 10. ELO rating system is the exact answer I was looking for. We're talking about the ELO rating system used in the world of chess. And yeah, great crack. Anirban starts the quiz on
I've already overtaken my previous score.
Yeah. For those of you who don't follow, Anirban was part of the semi-final in India quiz where he scored 8 points in the entire quiz. So yeah, already overtook his last score. Okay, great. Anirban, I go to Atul now. Atul, this is your direct. We are talking of two similar national flags. Okay, we are talking of two similar national flags. Let's look at what the story is. In 2018, Canada wanted to prepare for the arrival of the King and Queen of X by decorating Rideau Hall with X and Canadian flags. But they accidentally used a Y flag instead of a X1. The Y flag was spotted on the trunk of a tree by a ex-journalist, Wim Dehanschutter, who noticed that the decoration adorned a tree that X's Queen Fabiola had planted in 1977. The mix-up was attributed to X and Y's flags sharing the same color scheme of red, black, and yellow. The design of the flags, however, are very different. X's stripes are vertical, Y's are horizontal. Which two similar national flags are we talking about? Essentially, we're talking about two countries whose flags are very similar. They have
Correct.
similar color, red, black, and yellow. One of them has red, black, yellow in horizontal way. The other one has vertical stripes. Okay. And yeah, baki hints you can see. Take your time. Tell me what two countries are we talking about.
So can I start guessing here, or should I just keep it close to myself and should I start thinking aloud? Can I allow to think aloud, or will I be giving it to the other guys in a way?
You can give it to other guys. So it's your call totally.
But feel free, Atul. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you're the kind of guy who cares about such stuff.
Yeah, I'm above all this here. Huh.
Yeah, or you can give some wrong hints and then it's up to us.
See, one thing is okay. I'm okay. I'm all generous. So one is arrival of king and queen. So we're talking about of X, that is king and queen of X. That means they were a monarchy of a particular country. Could be Great Britain, and so there has to be maybe one of those Commonwealth countries who are maybe using, like. So one of the flags, I think, is New Zealand. It's the it's maybe Australia. Sorry, one of the flags. And the second, I'm just trying to figure out which is the second country which has a very similar flag like Australia, which maybe has some elements of the Union Jack or something on it, So, I'll give you one thing. Since I'm doing it new, I have to give it a shot, right? Or can I just let it pass?
You can pass also. Totally okay.
Okay, or I can give it a shot. There's no negative
Yeah,
marking. So
there's no negative marking. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, you're highly encouraged to take guesses. Like,
Before
And it has red, black, and yellow. So it has
Yes.
red, black, and yellow. The designs are very different. Red, black, and yellow. That is which countries are red, black, and yellow. The Union Jack doesn't have red, black. It has.
Can we adorn the tree as in the flag has a tree in it? I'm just
no. It was just on one
On a
tree
tree,
someone
right?
had put. Yeah.
Okay. It's definitely a monarchy. So, and basically the king and queen have to be alive. So it could be Spain ke king and queen hai. Who else is a king and queen? A lot of these European countries have kings and queens. The monarchy is still there. So it could be Spain, could be. You know how different X stripes are vertical. There's stripes also, and Y is a horizontal. No, I'm giving it a very, very, long shot. I think one is Australia.
Mhm.
Okay. And I know it's wrong, but New Zealand maybe.
No, not Australia and New Zealand. I go to Nihal.
KV, I have one guess, and I think that is, I may not be able to tell both the countries, both the flags, but can I take one name?
Yeah, you'll get 5 points for one. So 5 plus 5.
So, one is Germany,
Okay.
and that's the only guess I have.
Okay, so yes, that is correct. Nihal gets 5 for Germany, and I go to Vaibhav for only the other one.
I'm just gonna go say Spain.
Not Spain, going to Anirban.
Is it Belgium?
It is Belgium and Germany. Okay, these are the flags of Belgium and Germany. As you can see, the left one is Belgian flag and the right one is German flag. Similar colors, but horizontal. And Belgium is a monarchy. Atul was right that you have to think of monarchy. Belgium is a monarchy. Nihal got 5 points. Anirban got 5 points. Next direct will again come to Atul. Atul, we are talking about a multi-talented legend. Okay. In 1977, X earned himself an Academy Award nomination for Best Short Film Live Action thanks to his work on The Absent-Minded Waiter. X wrote and starred in the film himself. 2 years later, he co-wrote and starred in the movie called The Jerk, which earned a whopping $100 million from a $4 million budget. X is such a talented guy that he earned himself 2 Grammy Awards back in the 1970s. The actor and musician won the Grammy Award for Best Comedy Recording for his 2 comedy albums, Let's Get Small in 1977 and A Wild and Crazy Guy in 1978. Which multi-talented legend are we talking about?
You guys prepare for this, or it's all? I'm talking to the rest of the contestants. You all prepare for this, or it's all?
We'd obviously prepared. No? We gave a small.
Yeah, we had a syllabus.
Oh, अच्छा. कौन से book पढ़ते तुम लोग यार? मैं नींद से उठ के सीधा बैठ गया कंप्यूटर के सामने.
There's a new edition. NCRT has come out. KV edition.
अच्छा. Okay. केवी एक पॉइंट मिलना चाहिए ना जोक के लिए. नहीं, सॉरी.
हाँ, I gave 0.5.
No, wait, let me not waste time. With the movie Jerk is very important. I've heard of this movie. Started the movie Jerk. 1970s, yeah. The time I was growing up. Yeah. I'm going for a very long shot. Jerry Springer?
Not Jerry Springer. Nihal?
Very, very, very random guess. Sylvester Stallone?
Not Sylvester Stallone. Vaibhav?
No, I'm going to pass.
Vaibhav passes. We go to Anirban.
Pass.
Pass. Okay, I'll give a hint. We'll start with Atul again. This is a 5-point question now. The hint is the Pink Panther.
Oh, shit. Who was the man Pink Panther? Yeah. Oh, shit. It's on the tip of my tongue, yeah. Fuck, who's the guy, man?
Another hint for all 4 of you is banjo.
Huh?
Banjo, the musical instrument. So Pink Panther and banjo. 2 hints for all 4 of you.
Steve Martin?
Steve Martin is correct. 5 points there for Atul. Steve Martin. He did the remake of Pink Panther actually in 2006. And of course, he plays banjo and that's
In
why
fact,
he's a
I
musician.
remember when you said banjo, that was a good hint because the last, I think the special of Steve Martin and who was the other guy? Martin Short.
Martin Short.
Yeah.
I think he goes and playing the banjo. I
Yeah,
remember it
yeah,
from that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Super. 5
Lovely.
points there for Atul. Atul gets his first 5 points for Steve Martin. And we go to Nihal now. Nihal, this is an etymology question. So we are looking at a word. Okay, let's look at how the origin of the word is. The first X-ers, so X is the word, were Scottish landlords who exploited farmers by making them pay rent in livestock or services if they couldn't pay in cash. The goods they had to hand over were usually worth more than the rent owed. Around the same time, local chieftains started going after the same farmers. They made the farmers pay a fee for protection. If the farmers didn't pay, then the chieftains would unfortunately be unable to prevent ruffians from destroying crops and sacking property. The word comes from 2 roots. First part associated with evil, and second is actually a Norse word for payment. What word's origin do you think we are talking about?
Scottish landlords.
The word is basically X. Something,
Yes.
something ers.
X-ers. X-ers. I'll pass.
Passing to Vaibhav.
Insurers. I don't know.
Not insurers. Anirban.
Extortion.
Not extortion. Good track. Atul.
Collectors.
Not collectors. Okay, we'll make it a 5-point question. Start with Nihal once again. Nihal, so the hint for all four of you is the first part that we associate with evil is a color. Okay. A color that sometimes we associate with money as well. Okay. Think of that and think of what Anirban said in terms of extortion, threat, etc.
I'll pass.
Nihal passes. We go to Vaibhav.
Is it African American mailers? Blackmailers.
Blackmailers is correct.
Dude, I wrote
5
two
points.
answers and I went with extortion instead of blackmail.
Oh man, the answer is blackmail. Okay. Blackmail is the answer we were looking for. The word is blackmail. It has its origin
Hey,
in
nice photo,
Scottish. Yes. Tribute to the one and only Irfan Khan. Vaibhav gets 5 points there, which means I now go to Anirban. Anirban, you're direct. Okay, we are talking about a class of sporting events. Okay, in the name of a class of sporting events, this is a two-word answer. Okay, X, Y. So the first word, X, refers to a list of specifications that all participants must comply with. Okay, the first event in this class was held in 1950, but suffered for the first few years due to lack of entrants and a high death toll for participants. The second word, Y, indicates that it is the highest class of the event possible. Okay, what is XY? What is this two word that we are talking about?
So this is like XY is one of the levels of the sport, is it?
Y indicates it's the highest class of the event. Y basically refers that people have to, like participants have to comply with a list of specifications.
Got it.
And this is a class of sporting events.
No idea. Kickboxing.
Not kickboxing. Going to Atul.
No, I'll pass.
Atul passes. We go to Nihal.
Is it Kung Fu?
Kung Fu. No. Going to Vaibhav.
Mixed martial art. It's two words.
No, not mixed martial art. Okay, we'll come to Anirban now. A hint for all four of you is that the second word, Y, is a number. Okay, so the second word is a number. Now think of a really popular sporting event which has a number as the second word. Do you want to take a round with that, or do you guys need more hints? If all four of you need a hint, then I will give a hint.
I don't need a hint.
Okay, so when you think, what do you think will be like the second word says, it's the highest class of the event possible. What number do you think indicates like being on top? Okay, and then the other numbers would be more than that.
Can I answer?
Yes.
Formula One.
Formula One, that is correct. 5 points there to Anirban. We are talking about Formula One. Formula refers to a list of specifications that all participants have to comply with. And then there is Formula 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. But Formula One is the top highest class of event in the world of motor racing.
Great fact. Oh,
yeah.
What a nice fact.
Hint also was perfect.
Yeah. Formula One is correct, which means I now go to Atul. Atul, this is a visual plus text type of a question. Historically, the term referred to a non-sterile space in which students and other spectators could watch surgeons perform surgery. Okay, what misnomer are we talking about that is depicted in this image? So essentially, again, I'm talking about root of a certain term that we use. The origin lies in the fact that historically, the term meant a non, like as you can see in the image, a non-sterile space in which students and other spectators could watch surgeons perform surgery. What do you think? What term did this lead to?
It's just beautiful to see the reactions of the people looking at a surgery.
Sorry. KV, just let me know again what you're trying to say. Historically, the term referred to a non-sterile space in which blah blah blah. What misnomer are we talking about? So your term is not the non-sterile space. You're talking about the misnomer.
So essentially, we are talking about something that we use nowadays also. The reason we use this term to refer to something is because, as you can see in the image, historically, like back in the day, this was referred to as that space that you see in the visual, where students and other spectators could sit and watch surgeons perform surgery.
Correct.
From this fact, a term comes that we still use, which is in some way a misnomer. What term do you think we are talking about?
Okay. I'm sure it has to be a medical term. Voyeurism?
Not voyeurism. Nihal?
Sir, is it Operation Theatre?
What a beautiful answer. It is Operation Theatre. Operation Theatre was the word used for it because, like a theatre, people used to sit and watch.
Oh,
But
shit.
it's a
That's so
misnomer
simple,
now.
what?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. It's a misnomer now because there's no theatre setting now, but it's still called an Operation Theatre. Okay. And that is the origin. Great crack by Nihal. Operation Theatre. Yes. Doing theatre. Okay. Nihal gets 10 points for Operation Theatre, which means the next direct will be to Vaibhav. Vaibhav, Lady Godiva, who lends her name to the famous chocolate brand, was a noble woman who is mainly remembered for a legend in which she rode naked, covered only in her long hair, through the streets of Coventry to gain a remission of the oppressive taxation that her husband had imposed on his tenants. Although a proclamation was issued that all persons should stay indoors and shut their windows, a man named Thomas watched her ride and was struck blind or dead. Because of this story, a famous term comes. Okay, what famous term comes from the name of this man?
So it comes from Thomas, the man who watched her ride and struck blind or dead, right?
Yeah.
Something. Okay. Pass.
Passing to Anirban.
Is this answer voyeur?
Not voyeur,
Okay.
but good track. Yeah, good track. Atul?
Thrombosis?
No,
Long
going
shot.
to Nihal. Going to Nihal.
No. Pass.
Okay, we'll make it a 5-point question and start with Vaibhav. So we are looking at a 2-word term, okay, which is referred to a person who basically secretly watches people engaging in sexual activity or undressing, etc. So what do you think is the 2-word term you will use for someone who essentially derives sexual pleasure out of watching people secretly if they are undressing or if they are engaged in sexual activity, etc.?
Raj Kundra, sorry.
So voyeur, etc. is good track in the sense that's what is happening. But what is the 2-word term that you will use for this kind of man?
Pass.
Passing to Anirban.
Peeping Tom.
Peeping Tom, that is correct. 5 points to Anirban. Thomas is Tom, and that guy was referred to as Peeping Tom.
I would have gone for masturbator. Sorry, 2 words.
Peeping Tom.
Nice.
Yeah, masturbator, the target audience for Raj Kundra. Okay. Anirban gets Peeping Tom, and I go to Atul for the next question. Atul, this is your direct. It is given to players for acting in favor of fair play when they perform an exemplary act. Okay, because usually in football you give something when people do foul, etc. This is given to players for acting in favor of a fair play. This was introduced in Italian football, Serie B, the 2nd division in 2016. Shown here in the image is a footballer called Cristian Galano, who was the first player to receive it. Okay, it was given after Galano admitted that no opponent had touched the ball when the referee had incorrectly given a corner kick. What was given to him for fair play? Essentially, something is given to players in football field for fair play. First time it was given in 2016 to this guy because he did something really ethical and nice. What do you think are we talking about?
I'm not a football person at all, but this happened in 2016, but it's something new. So what
Still
would
workable if you're not a football fan. This is a hint for all four of you. You don't need to necessarily follow football to crack this. It's pretty workable.
Okay. Is it a flag given to him of the either opposite team or of the same team?
No, going to Nihal.
I'll pass.
Nihal passes. We go to Vaibhav.
Is it like a white ethical card of sort?
Not a white card. Going to Anirban.
The Bible.
Not the Bible. Okay, we'll start again with Atul. Atul, the hint for all four of you is it is a card. Okay, it is a card given to them. Now I just want you guys to improve on this. And you know how in football, what cards are given if you don't play ethically. So think of what card would you give if someone plays ethically. Okay, what?
Is it a green card?
It is a green card. That is correct. 5 points to Atul there.
I just went for opposite of red, you know.
Yes, yes, that was the way to go about it. That's why I said you don't need to necessarily know football. You people get red carded if they don't play ethically. So they started giving green card in some leagues to encourage fair play. Atul gets.
Yeah,
5
Anirban,
points
since you
to-
guys, in fact, you also, KV, since you all follow so much of this English Premier League, do they still do this just for trivia? Or no?
No, this is not in English Premier League.
Yeah.
It is done in a few
Mainly
leagues here
European?
and there.
Okay.
In Ireland it's done, in Italy it's done. Some people said it should be done in World Cup also, so that it encourages people
Yeah,
to play
yeah.
better.
In England, nobody plays fair only. So
Okay, that brings us to the end of the first half of the quiz. Quick look at the score. Anirban with 10 points for Anirban for 10 points for ELO rating system. He got 5 more for Formula One, 5 for Peeping Tom, and also got 5 for Belgium, which means Anirban right now is on 25 points. Atul with 5 each for Steve Martin and Green Card is on 10 points right now. Nihal with 10 points on Operation Theatre and 5 for, Nihal, 10 points for Operation Theatre and 5 for Germany is on 15. And Vaibhav with 5 points on Blackmail, which means right now Anirban is leading with 25, but Atul and Nihal are almost like at the same score, like one question here and there. Atul is on 10, Nihal is on 15, and Vaibhav also on 5. So just one question basically separates your score. Anirban is leading right now with 25. We'll start the second half. Now the order will be Vaibhav, Nihal, Atul, Anirban. Okay. So Vaibhav, this will be your direct. The summit of Suribachi, which has an elevation of 528 feet, marks the island's highest point. The American flag was raised there on 23rd Feb 1945, but the US wouldn't claim victory in the battle until more than a month later, on 26th March. What battle are we talking about? Fairly straightforward question. We're talking about a battle from 1945, talking about an American flag, summit of Suribachi. Which battle are we talking about?
I don't know, I'm just going to go World War II.
World War II is good track. I'm looking at a very specific battle. Do you want to take a guess on a specific battle from the Second World War?
Yeah, I don't know any names. I'm just going to say Battle of... I don't know, pass.
Okay, passing to Nihal.
I've seen that famous photo. The very famous photo, like flag is there.
Yeah. That is the Funda. Yes, the famous photo.
No. I'll pass.
Passing to Atul.
The Battle of Fujiyama or something?
Fujiyama?
Yeah.
No. Anirban?
Hawaii.
Not Hawaii. Okay, we'll make it a 5-point question. Start again with Vaibhav. So essentially, you guys are on right track. This is a famous World War II battle, mostly famous for that iconic photograph and image that Nihal talked about of Americans raising their flag. Quite quite often depicted in like documentaries and like movies. One hint that I would give to all four of you is Clint Eastwood. Think Clint Eastwood and think letters. Okay, think Clint Eastwood and think letters.
I have no idea from the hint, but I could see you just like change your expression when Atul said Fujiyama. So I'm just gonna stop at Fiji.
No, going to Nihal.
I know this. Is that it's a very famous battle of, is it Iwo Jima?
Yes, that is correct. Battle of Iwo Jima.
I actually wanted to say Iwo Jima, मैंने मुझसे Fujiyama.
Yeah, इसलिए I checked again. Like, did you say Iwo Jima? Or did you say?
मतलब Atul, he helped me a lot.
Yeah.
I should have just mumbled, yeah.
It's a very, very, very famous photograph.
Yeah. It's the Battle of Iwo Jima. Clint Eastwood made a movie called Letters from Iwo
Actually, the Japanese pronounce it as Fujiyama, so I should be given.
And they nicknamed it Fiji, so I'm just
प्यार से मुझे घर वाले फीजी बुलाते Okay, Iwo Jima is correct. Nihal gets 5 points and I go to Atul. We are talking about a country. 3 hints for you guys. Let's start with the first one. Its capital is the only capital city in the world that has a rainforest within its city limits. One can hike through it at Parque Natural Metropolitano with several trails that vary in length and difficulty. Second hint, X is the only place in the world where you can watch the sun rise on the Pacific Ocean and set on the Atlantic Ocean from the same spot. At the narrowest point of the country, just 80 kilometers separates Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean. Third, it has a certain important watery source of income that generates a full third of its entire economy. So this country's almost more than 30% of its economy comes from a certain important watery source of income. Which country do you think we are talking about?
Definitely something in South America which has Pacific and Atlantic.
Whose question?
So me. Sorry.
Okay.
Atul.
See, I will give all hints. I'll go through it. I'll make it easy for all of them. Okay?
Yeah.
मैं बलिदान
No,
करूंगा.
you answer. This one you don't give it.
Somewhere in South America for sure because it's you can see the sun rise on the Pacific. तो Pacific किधर है? Pacific तो इधर से आता है. हाँ ठीक है. No, sorry. South America definitely. Rise on the Pacific. No. रुको यार, जस्ट रुको. मैं जरा वर्ल्ड इमेजिन कर रहा हूँ.
हाँ ठीक है.
Pacific, Atlantic इधर है, Pacific इधर है. Sun rises in the east, so it has to be this side. Are you sure about this? The sun rises in the Pacific and sets on the Atlantic. उल्टा तो नहीं है ना? KV? If there's something wrong, then I get 10 points. Huh?
No. It's fine. Everything.
Watery source of income could be like a dam जहाँ से electricity आती है. Parque Natural Metropolitano. I'll go for Fiji.
Not Fiji. Anirban?
Is it Panama?
It is Panama. The certain important watery source of income is Panama Canal. That gives almost 1/3 of its entire economy. Panama. And which Panama Canal connects Atlantic and Pacific. So, but
tell me about that thing which the sun rises in Pacific. How can Panama sun rises from the east? East पे there's Atlantic and west में there's Pacific. Correct?
No, it's there. Beach mein aisa, there is a point where that happens. That's why it's very unique that you can see sunrise. Okay. Anirban gets 10 points for Panama. Panama is correct. I go to Vaibhav. Again, we go back to history and with this wonderful little story. On May 24th, 1940, the Allied troops on the French and Belgian coast had been totally surrounded by powerful German tank columns, rendering them essentially defenseless against the impending German onslaught. And then came a brief reprieve as the attackers, which is the Germans, suddenly stopped for 48 hours, allowing the British to dig in and create a defensive perimeter, setting the stage for the evacuation. Now, till date, the reasons for this are not clear. Hitler, over the protest of his own generals and to the bafflement of historians, had ordered the German general Guderian to halt for 2 days to rest and resupply. It's true, the German troops were worn out after 2 weeks of fighting, and Hitler may have worried about a repeat of 1914 when exhausted German troops were forced to withdraw at the Marne. He may also have been swayed by Hermann Göring, chief of the German Luftwaffe, who boasted that air power alone could destroy the helpless Allied forces at X. Less likely is the speculation that Hitler purposefully let the Allies go to appear magnanimous or merciful as a prelude to peace negotiations. What are we talking about? What is this the story of? Or just tell me what is X?
Don't know any other names. Normandy.
Not Normandy. Nihal?
Allied forces at Berlin.
Not Berlin. Atul?
Dunkirk. Sorry.
Dunkirk. What a great answer. Dunkirk. We're looking at the evacuation of British at Dunkirk. Famous story of Dunkirk.
Of
Of how they
course.
got 2 days to evacuate from,
Oh.
and the German had stopped. Dunkirk, which
सबने
the
बोला
world,
अच्छी मूवी है देख ले सबने बोला था
हाँ यार, अरे मैंने देखी भी यार मतलब
मुझे अब तक समझ में नहीं आई, but ठीक है.
Dunkirk is correct. Superb answer. Dunkirk it is. With that, we go to Anirban. Anirban, in the late 1800s, Theophilus Van Kannel supposedly designed something. He designed X because he hated chivalry. Okay. As early skyscrapers were built in US cities near the turn of the 20th century, X became important for internal temperature control. However, although a social phobia may have spurred Van Kannel to design it, when I say social phobia, I mean his phobia against chivalry. Phobia such as claustrophobia keeps people from using them. Okay, what are we talking about?
Revolving doors.
Beautiful answer. We are talking about revolving doors. He created revolving doors because he hated that people have to open door and wait for people to come. He
Wow.
created revolving doors, which still a lot of people don't use because of claustrophobic nature of revolving doors.
Anirban, you gave it. Anirban gave it.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Nice answer.
Yeah. And I go to Vaibhav now. We enter the last lap of the first quarterfinal. Very short, simple, straightforward question, Vaibhav. Among the defeated titans in Greek mythology was X, who is often depicted as holding up the earth. This is, however, technically incorrect. X's punishment was to hold up the heavens. Okay. Who are we talking about? What is X?
The holding up the earth is Atlas.
Atlas is correct. 10 points there for Vaibhav. We are talking
इतना इजी
about
दिया साला उसको यार तूने.
हाँ यार मतलब
तो है ही 4 लाइन का, मेरे को 10-10 लाइन का, 20-20 लाइन का देते हैं क्वेश्चन.
Atlas. Atlas is
Nice.
correct. Vaibhav gets 10 points. And I come to Nihal now. Nihal, we're talking about two slogans from Indian history. Okay. Yusuf Meher Ali, who was a freedom fighter and socialist leader, played a leading role in peasants' organizations and trade unions. He was elected mayor of Bombay in 1942 while he was imprisoned in Yerawada Central Prison. He was imprisoned 8 times during the freedom movement, but he's mostly remembered in popular consciousness for having coined 2 of the most famous slogans which were used at different points in India's struggle for independence. Just tell me the 2 slogans that apparently were coined by Yusuf Meher Ali. So think of our national freedom struggle and think of 2 very important slogans used at different points.
is it Quit India?
Quit India, okay. And the other slogan?
Yusuf Meher Ali. Quit India movement. Quit India is there.
So Quit India is correct. Okay.
Quit India.
is
Okay.
one of the 2 slogans.
Oh, fine.
Quit India
Good.
is correct. You get 5 points for Quit India. Now I'm looking for the other slogan.
Okay. Indian independence struggle. Indian independence struggle. Simon, go back.
Beautiful answer. 5 plus 5, 10 points there for Nihal. Simon, go back and quit India. These are the two slogans we're looking at, two of the most iconic slogans from Indian national struggle. Nihal gets full 10 points there.
Nice.
Quit India and Simon, go back. Cool. Going to Atul now. Atul, we are talking about a folk hero of Switzerland called William Tell. Okay. William Tell is a folk hero of Switzerland. He was a strong man, known to be a mountain climber and an expert shot with the crossbow. In his time, the Austrian emperors were seeking to dominate Uri. Okay, that's the region where William
Vicky
Tell was.
Kaushal went, huh?
Yes, yes. Uri. Jesler, the newly appointed Austrian Walk of Eldorf, which is basically just newly appointed something. He raised a pole and hung his hat on top of it and demanded that all the townsfolk bow before the hat. Tell visited Aldorf with his young son and passed by the hat, publicly refusing to bow to it, and was arrested. They were sentenced to be executed. However, Jesler, intrigued by Tell's marksmanship, devised a cruel task that, if completed, could save their lives. What task do you think he devised for William Tell? A task that we are aware of.
He told William Tell to put an apple on his son's head and shoot it. Zapak.
Superb answer. One of the best
Wow.
answers of the quiz.
Wow.
10
Wow.
points there. It is, he asked him to shoot an arrow through an apple placed on his son's head. Superb answer. Oof, oh God. I think it's happening. Cool, we'll see. Going to Anirban now. Anirban, this is the last question of the quarterfinal of the regulation time. We'll see if there is an extra time needed on this. Anirban, X is famous for 28 season vow of silence, but she did utter one word during the 4th season. And the voice behind X was none other than Elizabeth Taylor, who was hired to say one thing, Daddy. The scene takes place at the end of the episode once her father leaves her room after tucking her in. So, of course, no one hears it. To get the line just right, producer Al Jean requested a number of takes from the Hollywood icon, culminating in Taylor telling Jean, F you, in her X voice while the tapes were still rolling. Taylor reappeared on the show toward the end of the 4th season. She had a bit more to say there when she came back in the 4th season, but laying claim to X's first word cemented her legacy amongst X fans. Tell me, what is X? That's all I want.
Is this from Simpsons?
Okay, what is X or who is X?
No, I don't know.
Okay, going to Vaibhav.
8 seasons of Simpsons Yoga. I have not watched. Watched maybe half an episode. This is famous for this. This, okay. Gene. Such a number of takes from the Hollywood icon culminating in Taylor Gene. Emma.
Not Emma. Nihal?
क्या हो सकता है नाम? Simpson fan. I do not watch Simpsons, so I'll pass.
Passing to Atul.
I also watch Simpsons, but I don't know the name, you know. I know his wife to continuously speaks, so it has to be one of the daughters. I don't know the daughter's name, so I'll just give it a shot. Bertha.
No, not Bertha Simpson. Oh damn. I was hoping Atul or Nihal would get it because the scorecard, if you know the scores, you know what I mean. Oh man. Okay, cool. So yeah, the answer is.
Hey, wait, you can give us a hint now.
Yeah, I'll give a hint.
Sorry,
Anirban again.
Go to Anirban first.
Yes. So the answer, like, it is Simpsons. We're talking about a Simpsons character. The hint, of course, is we're talking about the youngest member of the family. We're talking about the kid and who never speaks throughout 28 seasons. There's just one, what do you call, Wojo? Oh, I forgot. Like she basically never speaks, and it's the youngest kid, like the
I
baby.
know.
Yeah.
She's
So
got
we'll
the thing in the mouth. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
sucking
yeah,
thing.
yeah. So we'll take one round. If no one gets it, it's fine. We'll see. Anirban,
Pass.
Vaibhav,
Bet.
no, Nihal,
No, I'll pass. I don't
What did you say, Anirban? Sorry.
Pass. I passed.
Okay,
Atul,
I'm the last guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Margie.
Margie. Oof.
Give it to me.
Ah.
Give it to me. I'm 53 years old. Or Maggie, Margie, I don't know, something.
Can you give your final answer?
I'll go for Margie.
Oh man.
दे दे यार.
Time for God. Tough time for God.
So I would have given if it was anything else, but right now the
Yeah.
scores are too tight, and this will become one of those decisions.
No, Nihal won't mind, yeah.
I want tiebreaker.
But you're so close that I can't give zero also. And if
Okay,
I
I
give-
give the answer. Let the other guys decide. I should get it or not.
Is it Maggie?
yeah, it is. It is. So the answer is Maggie Simpson. Okay, not Margie, but you also said Maggie in the middle. Oh man,
To make matters worse.
yeah. But when I ask you for the final answer,
See,
you
the
said
thing is,
Margie.
it is spelled as Maggi, but I pronounce it as Margie. Margie, Maggi.
Ah.
No. In all fairness, I thought of it as Margie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, green card to Atul.
At this age, I can't. रात को सोना
Nice
ऊपर
call back.
अभी जाने का वक्त हो गया भगवान को ऊपर आंसर देना है यार.
Sir, you're winning hearts.
Okay, it is Maggie Simpson. I won't give points to Atul. Oh, if I would have given, but since this is a tiebreaker thing, and then one of you will reach the semi-final, so it will be slightly unfair. So no one gets any points on this. I might have given Anirban a few part points for the Simpsons, but it doesn't matter to the scorecard, so I'll not do that. This is something that I want to avoid, but it happened in the very first quarterfinal. We'll tell you, if you've not been tracking score, I'll explain what has happened. Anirban had 25 in the first half, then he got Revolving Doors and Panama in the second half. So Anirban ends on 45 and Anirban wins the first quarterfinal. Okay, Vaibhav had 5 in the first half and then he got Atlas in the second half, 10 points there. So Vaibhav has 15. Okay. Now Atul had 10 in the first half and then he got 2 fantastic answers in the second half, which were shooting arrow with apple on the head of the kid, 10 points there, and also 10 on Dunkirk. So Atul ends on 30 points, 10 plus 20. Nihal had 15 and then he got 5 for Iwo Jima, and then he got both the slogans. Wish he didn't get one of those. So Nihal got Quit India and Simon Go Back. So Nihal had 15 in the second half and Nihal also ends on 30. Okay.
Oh.
Which means we'll have a tiebreaker in the very first quarterfinal. This is how tiebreaker will work. Atul and Nihal, only you two will be participating. A question will come on the screen. Okay. Whenever you want to answer, just raise your hand. Okay. Don't say anything. Just raise your hand. I'll come to you. You answer. If you answer correctly, you qualify. If you answer incorrectly, the other one qualifies.
Okay.
Okay. And you only get to answer once. So be patient, wait, and take the risk. So you take the risk at any point. It's one of those high risk, high reward kind of a thing. If you're right, you qualify. If you are not right, you won't qualify. Okay. So I'm bringing the question up now. X was born in 1469 in the independent Republic of Florence. Anytime you want to answer, you can raise your hand. Okay. Long before he became known as the first modern political theorist, not to mention an inspiration for House of Cards in some way. X worked as a diplomat in the service of the Florentine. Yes, Nihal?
Machiavelli.
That is correct. Oh man, what an end to the first tiebreaker.
मैं तो Republic of Florence तक पहुंचा था इसमें.
Oh man, I thoroughly am not saying this just to pander, but both of you deserve to reach purely on the basis of that William Tell answer and the Quit India Simon Go Back answer. I'm not kidding, because once you make the question, you go about it so many times, then you do dry run with your friends, etc., etc. And actually, I know William Tell was a tough question in my mind, and Simon Go Back, and getting both Simon Go Back and Quit India was a little tough. Wow. But
मेरे दिमाग में कुछ और भी चल रहा था, but anyway, मतलब मैं Machiavelli से काफी खुश हूँ.
मैं एक और चीज बोलना चाहता हूँ. When KV you gave me two options, is it Margie or Maggie? But the fact that I said Margie first and I said Maggie and you gave me the option, I said let me go for Maggie, because you sort of gave a hint that may be the right. But my ethics held ground. I said, "नहीं, मैंने पहले Margie बोला. I should say Margie."
Oh, no doubt. Ethically, I mean, yeah, we've.
Thank you.
Yeah, there is no doubt. You win heart. You win the Fun Participant Award. You win the Fair Play Award, and you also almost qualified for semi-final. So big round of applause for Atul Khatri for having a fantastic debut.
Atul Khatri, OP डालो chat में. That's what they say.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
My internal is
in fact, Geo80 goat डालो goat.
Green card. Atul can do corporate shows in US now every day with a green card. But yeah, that's how it is. And big shout out to Vaibhav Setia, as always, one of the most fun people always.
Damn fun. Dude.
And congratulations Nihal Parashar for winning on a tiebreaker and reaching the semi-final. And obviously all the best to Anirban Gupta also for the first semi-final. Thank you so much to all four of you for being a part of KVizzing With The Comedians.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Great fun. Super questions, super question and super answers, guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, KV. Bye.